Praise be to Jesus. Praise be to the Blessed Mother. My name is Rio from Philippines. I am here today to acknowledge the graces and blessings that have been showered to me through Our Lady of Naju, to me, to my family, and to all the people around me. But before that, let me explain to you, or let me tell you a short story about how I have known Our Lady of Naju. Around October of 2017, my fellow Philippine citizens, they decided to travel here in South Korea, in Seoul. They do not have any itinerary or any plans. All they want to do is to try and experience South Korea and enjoy their golden age. On the third day, they do not know where to go. They really got lost, like they don't know what to do. Ati Catherine said, I read before somewhere in the internet that there is a miraculous Mother Mary in Korea, but I don't know where it is. Thankfully, after they asked around, there was one driver who knows about Our Lady of Naju. So they agreed to come here, and when they arrived here, they were just crying without knowing why they're crying. They just cried a lot when they arrived here, and they feel home, and their feeling is really out of this world. There is no word that can describe how they feel when they arrive here. After that, those group of women is coming back religiously here in Our Lady of Naju every single year. 2017, 2018, 2019, and 2020. However, sadly, that was canceled because of COVID. For me, that was really a beautiful story because it was not planned at all, and Our Lady of Naju really have guided them to be here. I have known Our Lady of Naju through that group of women because one of them is my mother-in-law. Every single time that my mother-in-law comes over, I am the one doing the paperwork because coming here in Korea needs a visa, right? Every time she asked me to do that, I said, why is she coming back again and again in that place? I really, really wondered, but every time she goes, she keeps on inviting us, but we just really don't care at all, because we are all busy and all. Now, here comes October 2022. My mother-in-law invited me again. So we finally said yes. That very year, in the month of May, I and my husband are supposed to travel to Norway for a trip, but that was canceled. So I said, that was supposed to be my first ever international trip, but that didn't happen. So I think I can give South Korea a try. So at the end of the day, I have realized that God and Our Lady do always have a better plan for me. They want my first ever international travel to be with Our Lady of Naju in South Korea. So today, or this time, this is my fourth time visiting Naju. So first was October 2022, and then June 2023, October 2023, and March 2024. It is my friends who are keep on asking, why am I coming back again and again? And they saying, why don't you try another country? Why are you keeping coming back to that place? So yeah, one of the reason is that October 2022, I was healed from my hiatal hernia, erosive gastritis, and duodenitis through the Naju miraculous water. Those three were my diagnosis in February 2022. My symptoms were extreme abdominal pain. It was as painful as labor pain. Every time I am having an episode, I feel like giving birth. And I always tell my husband to bring me to the emergency room. Along with that are cold hands and feet, cold sweat and vomiting, and that would last for around 3 minutes long, twice a day. So I have my blood work and abdominal ultrasound done, and the doctor cannot see anything. So I have to undergo endoscopy, and the doctor have figured that I already have an erosive gastric area. It's like an open wound that should not catch acid for it not to hurt. After my endoscopy, my doctor gave me medication for 3 months. Thankfully, I was relieved. However, symptoms seems to happen again from time to time, beginning end of August until September. I cannot eat solid food again. So I am taking blended food for a month or so. But from the first day I arrive here in the blessed mountain of Naju, where all we drink is the miraculous water from October 19 to 2022 until this very day, miraculously, I have never had a single symptoms
nice.
anymore. So that was one of the reason why I keep on coming back again and again. But on top of that, it's basically how I am feeling every time I am here in the Blessed Mountain. On June 28, 2023, 8th wedding anniversary. So we decided to celebrate it by joining the 38th anniversary of Our Lady's Weeping Tears in Naju together with our 8-year-old daughter. Again, that was the first time we traveled as a family internationally. During that visit, I had a task given by my fellow devotee. So she asked me to have a picture of her brother to be kissed by Mama Julia. His brother is having lymphoma stage 4 cancer. It's the cancer of the lymph nodes or lymphatic system. That was July 2nd, 2023, when Mama Julia blew breath on my cell phone. After Mama Julia blew a breath on my phone smells like rose. And that lasted for 2 to 3 days. I right away sent to Ate Myra that Mama Julia already kissed the picture. And in July 24, so that is 22 days after, Ate Myra, my fellow devotee, sent an audio recording to me. Before Mama Julia kissed the picture, his brother was in the hospital. He is extremely ill. He was on oxygen, he cannot stand, and the doctor already let him go because they cannot do the 4th chemo anymore. So they already accepted the decision of the doctor. They were sent home with an ambulance, with a stretcher, and with an oxygen. And at home, he needs to be getting morphine injection every 2 hours because he is shouting in pain. But right after that kiss or blow of Mama Julia, they were so surprised because he already sits down and he asks for food. According to the doctor, the patient is going to get worse and worse and worse, and be prepared with the worst thing to happen. However, they oppose because after that, after the kiss of Mama Julia, he's already okay, he already started to walk, and he no longer have any morphine. And according to the audio recording, they really believe that that was because of Mama Julia's blow of breath. After a month, they need to request for a doctor appointment for his regular checkup. So they called the doctor, and then the doctor said, okay, I'm coming over, because the doctor was imagining that the patient is already bedridden and, like a dead vegetable.
Yeah,
to his surprise, the patient was coming towards his office. And for him, it was really a miracle. So in October 2023, I decided not to come over here because it was the wedding of my sister. However, God really have his own way of telling me to come. Out of nowhere, I have met my godmother in a bank. She tapped me and she said, thank you so much for the holy water that you gave me. She called it holy water. She said she had an endometrial polyps and uterine bleeding. 3 days after drinking the Naju miraculous water, she urinated all the polyps out, and she no longer bleeding. On top of that, the father of my office mate got hospitalized, and that is already a week, and the doctor still cannot find any diagnosis. So he has been confined for a week, and he's already very, very weak. He's very pale, no more color on his face. So what I did, I sent a holy water for her, and she said when she received the holy water, she really smelled the roses. Just 1 day after of drinking the holy water, his father's face turned colorful again and back to healthy looking again. So that two testimony that I heard made me realize that I really have to visit in October and bring more Naju miraculous water back home to help more people. I have so many testimonies, but I think that's all for today. Thank you so much.